Manchester United then take on Aston Villa in the Barclays Premier League on Saturday on the back of that fantastic victory against West Ham. Really great victory for Manchester United. Hopefully it can spur them on in the Premier League to get the 5 or 6 victories that potentially we need to hopefully catch Manchester City in the race for that top 4 place, because personally I still want us to finish in the top 4. I know some people don't, in case it keeps Louis van Gaal, but I can't bear to see Manchester United fail, whoever the manager is. And even if it means keeping Louis van Gaal, it will be devastating. But I just do not want to see Manchester United fail. And I want to see Manchester United in the Champions League next season and winning the FA Cup. And that's the bare minimum I would have expected at the start of the season. You know, at the start of the season, challenging for the title would have been the main aim, and potentially winning a cup. But challenging for the title just never happened. So scraping 4th place and winning the FA Cup will salvage some pride out of the season, which I still don't think will happen, could potentially still happen. But going into this game, Aston Villa in absolutely woeful form this season, really poor. You've got some really poor performances out there. The likes of Bonhor doesn't look fit and just isn't giving a shit. You've got the likes of Jolien Lesko isn't giving a shit, Micah Richards. They have been absolutely woeful. Gujan in goal has been absolutely shocking, making stupid mistakes, kicking the ball out to players, letting in soft goals. It has just been an absolute capitulation from Aston Villa. I mean, the writing was on the wall when they sold Christian Benteke and Delph in the summer, but still they have been terrible. One of the worst Premier League sides in the history of the Premier League. I know they've got a lot more points at this stage than, well, a few more points at this stage than Derby had when they had the lowest points, but this team has probably been just as bad considering the standard of the Premier League right now. They've been absolutely woeful. I wouldn't expect too many changes from Manchester United going into this game. We've really got to keep a consistent run of running the team, because I don't think that this is going to be a formality 3 or 4-0 victory. Rarely get that this season. We've only scored, I think it's more than 3 goals on a couple of occasions, 2 or 3 occasions this season. So I'm not expecting Manchester United to go into this game looking to batter Aston Villa. It could happen, but I've got my doubts. So we've got to go into this game. Can't really afford to rest too many players. And I would go with a strong lineup for this game, even though we've got other games. Still got that game in hand because of the FA Cup. But I still won't rest too many players. I'll keep the back 4 pretty much similar to what we've had. Apart from I'll take Marcus Rojo out. He hasn't been his best lately. I would prefer to see him at centre-back, to be honest, but I don't think Louis van Gaal is going to do that. So I would bring Cameron Jackson back into the team. Had some reserve team games now, so it'd be nice to see him back in the starting lineup. I've been a real fan of his since he's come into the team. Done fantastically well. I would keep Fosu-Mensah on the right, and Blynden Smalling can stay at centre-back. Got no problem with that. Herrera and Schneiderlin for me got to be the 2 players in midfield. No point in going with Fellaini or Carrick for this one. Certainly not Carrick and Schneiderlin for me. 2 defensive midfielders. What is the point against Aston Villa, a team that let so many goals in lately and scored only a few goals? Not really any point. We need to go all out in attack and try to get as many goals as possible in this game. So really no point, especially at home when the emphasis is on Manchester United to attack. And they're probably going to park the bus, so it's pointless playing 2 defensive midfielders. I don't understand that. And on the wings, I would go for Memphis Depay and Anthony Martial. I think Lingard's played a lot of games lately. Could do with maybe coming out the team for one game. Hasn't done too bad lately, but I would like to just see Memphis Depay given a run out wide. And I would bring Wayne Rooney back into the starting lineup. Had 60 minutes against Middlesbrough in the under-21s and come on for the last minute or so against West Ham. He should be good enough to start and play 60 minutes of this game. Start getting his fitness back. Perfect game for him to get back into the team. I wouldn't put Juan Mata back in the team. I don't think he's out the forward line. I think he's probably been the weakest link lately. You know, Martial and Lingard and Rashford, I think, have all outperformed him recently. He seems to have gone a bit stale lately. Earlier in the season, I thought he was playing well, but hasn't really performed at his best lately. So I'd like to see Wayne Rooney in that number 10 role. And what more can be said about Marcus Rashford at the moment? He's got to start up front. I think he's started 11 consecutive matches now which is quite a surprise for Manchester United because we never thought he would. When Wayne Rooney got injured, we all thought that Anthony Martial would have to play as the striker, but he's kept with Rashford. He's played actually 10.5 games because he come off obviously against Tottenham, and to score 6 goals in that, it's been absolutely fantastic. Hopefully he can continue this. What better way to continue it than in this game against the worst team in the Premier League. I don't think it's going to be an easy game for Manchester United, but really we have to win this game. I think it's probably going to be a closer game than most people think, especially if Aston Villa park the bus and we play this sideways backward passing, which we've seen so many times. We had our 22nd 0-0 at half time in the week, which was absolutely atrocious. So expect it to be tight first half, and hopefully second half it will open up. I think probably at half time it could be sort of a 0-0, maybe 1-0, and hopefully we can win it. I'm going to go for a 2-0 Manchester United win. I think we will see this off. But with this victory, hopefully then it will put pressure on Manchester City going into that game later on, because they're away at Stamford Bridge, which although Chelsea are changing their team up a bit, playing a few youngsters, giving a few different players a go, hopefully Chelsea will give them a game and get a result against them, because that could be massive in the race for the top 4, because that's one of the difficult games that Manchester City have got still to play. And with Champions League football still at Manchester City with a double header to come against whoever they get in the Champions League, that could take their eye off the ball in the Premier League and potentially put Manchester United within another chance. It's going to be hard to get this top 4 place, but hopefully it can happen. We'll have to wait and see, but I still want us to finish in the top 4 and to win the FA Cup. I never want Manchester United to do badly just to get rid of a manager. I mean, I know I can see where some fans are coming from, because they feel that we've got no chance next year of winning the Champions League, but I don't want us to be playing Thursday nights in that Europa League again. It's diabolical, playing the likes of Midtjylland. It's just horseshit. I want us to be playing in the Champions League. I don't care if we get beat against Barcelona, but I want to be watching Manchester United playing Barcelona, Real Madrid, PSG, these big teams. This is what being a Manchester United fan has all been about, watching Manchester United playing these big games. If we lose to these teams, so be it. They're fantastic nights under the floodlights at Old Trafford. That's what I love football for, and I want to see these games. And we won't see them if we don't get Champions League football. I still think Louis van Gaal will go, but whether it will be up in arms whether he does go if we finish top 4 and to win the FA Cup. I will be disappointed if that does keep him in a job, because it will only paper over the cracks, but hopefully he will still go and the club will see sense, because for the whole season the football has been diabolical. It will give us a little bit of pride though if we win the FA Cup and finish in the top 4, because unfortunately our targets have changed around since the start of the season. If we'd said that at the start of the season, it would have been seen as a bad season, not challenging for the title. But unfortunately, as the season has been so poor, and from December when we had that awful run around Christmas time, most people would have been really happy if we'd finished in the top 4 then and won the FA Cup. So your targets have got to change if your season's going to pot, and that's been what it's been this season. Anyway, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let me know your thoughts ahead of the game against Aston Villa. Do you think we can batter Aston Villa and get maybe one of the biggest victories we've had all season? Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll talk to you all again soon. See ya.